Welcome to our Smutmas special of Unwrap Me by Natalia, Lourose. When we were looking for a holiday novella, we found this book that didn't have any cover yet or blurb yet. And Crystal and I looked at each other and we were like, good, let's go. We won't do that to you, however. So here is the blurb.
Boo.
Boo, you should get to go in blind just like us. Oh, it's Angie, by the way. I'm here too.
Surprise!
Hi.
Noelle only has one thing on her Christmas list, a daddy. Yes, that's right, guys. We blind bagged, and of course, surprise, me and Crystal got stuck with a daddy book. After years of failed relationships that left her unsatisfied, Noelle finds herself flipping through profiles on a kinky dating app. Just for fun, she swears. But when she comes across the profile of a hot older man with graying hair wearing a crisp red suit, she's suddenly typing up a message and hitting send. Santa Claus, is that you? She never meant to show up to a kink club wrapped as a present, but once Chris gets her upstairs and over his knee, there's nothing left for her to do but beg Santa to unwrap her. Unwrap Me is a short and dirty novella with Christmas and BDSM themes. This Smutmas special, we went into completely blind. And as you've already figured out in this Smutmas episode, we have a special guest. It's Angie. Ta-da!
Jazz hands.
It's the most on-brand thing.
Can I just read the dedication? Because the dedication had me
Abso-freaking-lutely.
on the floor. For all the good girls and the naughty ones too, I wish you a Christmas that's hotter than chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Now, let's find out if Santa's lap is really the best place to be.
Is it, Angie? Is it the best place to be?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to put this right at the top of the episode. If I had read this blurb before, I wouldn't have read it.
But that's the thing. Neither would I.
I totally would have. I don't know about you. I know I'm in the minority here.
I know.
That's okay. It's fantastic that you're here for this because you're going to give us some much needed balance. Because, like Crystal said, there's no way in hell that she or I would have chosen a daddy book. Both of us are not into the daddy kink. But we thought it would be so much fun when we were looking for novellas. We were like, why is this book on Amazon having no blurb and no title and no page count either? It was just simply a date when it was coming out and the title of the book. And we were like, you know what? Going in blind sounds fabulous. And kind of was fun.
In the end, it was really a gift from the Smutty Book podcast to Angie because Angie loved every single second of that
This
shit.
is literally.
Oh my God.
Angie's-
This is hand wrapped for Angie.
It's your
Literally.
Merry early Christmas, Angie.
Merry Smutmas to Angie.
I'm also 25, so I think I'm the same age as the main character too. So I'm just very much like,
You were there. You were on it, ready to be unwrapped by Santa Claus.
As I was reading this, all I could think was Angie has got to love this book right now.
It was not bad. It just was not my preferred vibe. But it's Angie's.
yes, it was. Yes, it was. Oh my God.
Angie and done.
She was a bratty sub.
If there's nothing Angie loves more, is a freaking bratty main character with a daddy. So the reason why I thought that this was going to be a great choice was because I looked at the author and I saw that the other stories she had written were of the BDSM side. And I was like, ooh, if anyone is going to give us what we want and give us those holiday items used in a novella
It's gonna be
in
Santa.
a kinky way, it's going to be this book. Well, we didn't know Santa was involved, but it's going to be this book. I had high hopes. So that's why we went with this. This Smutmas special, we read Unwrap Me by Natalia Lourose. And Unwrap Me is a kinky Santa daddy BDSM book that features Chris, who's 49, and Noelle, who's 25. So yes, Angie, you have your age gap also.
And I love an age gap.
Me too. Okay, daddy.
No, absolutely not. I had to visibly keep myself from gagging the entire time I read this book. It's so hard.
It was hard. It was really hard. So Unwrap Me starts with Noelle, though we don't know that that's her name for quite a while.
Complaint number 1 lodged.
Oh my god, there's gonna be so many complaints in this book from Ariel. I can already sense it.
No, I was saying that ahead of time because I know that's a Crystal like ick.
I mean, it is.
This is a super quick, short novella, but we like our holiday novellas, quick and fun, flirty and fun.
Holiday quickies.
Holiday quickies. So Noelle is checking out a kinky dating app and she is swiping along and singing a song, except not really, but she probably is in her head because she's having a good time swiping along. And every freaking other dude is holding a fish. What is up with that? Why do men think that's
I don't know, but
something
it is a
that-
very common thing on a dating app.
That's what I'm saying. Why do men think
Why do
that
men?
that is something that
End of sentence. Why do men?
I
Yes,
think
Angie, yes.
I think that they're trying to make the connection in our brains that there's plenty of fish in the sea.
That or that they're a
And
hunter.
that they're
That
Yeah.
never even crossed my mind, but that is really dumb. I was just thinking they were trying to show their hobbies or that they could be providers. Like, oh, me man, me give you food, me
Plenty
hunt
of
for
fish in the sea,
didn't
and
even-
here's one. That is just what crossed my mind when I was reading that.
Men are so fucking dumb.
But
I
the
don't have
sea
time
is
for a
also
man.
full of garbage, so there's that.
Yeah, it is. She got really tired of seeing all these fishmen and not in the fun monster romance kind. When she comes across an older gentleman in a red suit, and not the kind of red suit you imagine when you go into a Christmas novella, just a red suit. He has a white,
Expensive billionaire.
yes, in red. And he's got a white button down underneath, and it's open to salt and pepper chest hair, and she's digging it. She's only 25, and he's like 50, but she's digging it. And she's like, he's old enough to be my dad, but I don't care.
He's old enough to be my dad, so I'll call him daddy. And that's what she
And
opened with.
he's got a beard going. Yeah, she contacts him. She clicks that she likes him, and then all of a sudden there's fireworks all over the place. Oh, you're a match. You guys are destined to be a match. Yay! And then she is able to message him because they're matched, and she says, Santa Claus, is that you? Does Mrs. Claus know that you're on a kinky dating app? And then I had 1 second of respect for this man as he answered, is that your opening line? Comparing me to Saint Nick? Try again. Like basically, fuck you, bitch. But she took that as an invitation to,
I would
in
have
fact,
too.
try again. Her second attempt was, I'm so sorry, Father Christmas. Did I offend you?
And the girls were going crazy. Me, I'm the girls.
Because he could not help himself after that. And he's, you're a brat. Got it. Oh, don't be mad, Santa. I promise I've been good this year.
Is that how
He's
this
like-
whole episode is gonna be? It's just you doing.
I'm here for it.
Of course. I love you.
For it.
Basically, they go back and forth and having a good time with their little Santa bit, but they agree to meet up at the club this weekend. And the thing, though, is it was not specifically spelled out in this book. I mean, we could connect the dots. I just wish that it was spelled out that this dating app Desire is a product of the club that is also called Desire.
Yeah, so I also got confused and I was like, wait, there's a club named Desire too? I didn't realize they were connected.
And the fact that he just said to meet at the club as if she would just magically know. I wish it was spelled out just to make it a little easier to flow. I wish we had those words.
It felt like one of those things just because I have been in that like end of writing where it's like I forgot to mention something before, but the flow is too good to break it up with exposition. And so she did try to fix it later, like introducing the conversation and
club.
like side characters. And even
Yeah.
with, when you do engage in BDSM, you have to have conversations and rules. And she was a newbie. So that conversation didn't happen on page, but she did say
Reference it, right?
yeah, and she
I
even found,
I wish when she talked about the dating app, it could have been mentioned there. That's all.
I thought it was kind of confusing that he was like, "Oh, so you're a brat," because it said that it matched them up because they had like green checks all across, which means that all their interests were like there. And she said that her highest one was brattiness, which meant that his highest one must have been brat tamer. So the fact that he then went, "Oh, so you're a brat," it's like, no shit. Like,
I think it was part of their banter kind of thing. I felt like the dialogue could have been better. But this is a holiday novella. So here we are.
the bar is a garland and we're standing under it.
Yes.
There was a
We're standing under
very
the
big
mistletoe.
lack of garland in this book.
Yeah, baby. Or unwrap me.
So she said, "Yes, Daddy." And they agreed to meet at the club this weekend. And thus the daddy adventure begins. I wonder how many times I can say daddy in this episode without Crystal.
She like has a mini
Because
like,
I have to edit this and I'm gonna have to listen to it so many more times.
So Noelle meets up with Chris. That's the name of this man. Chris. Ta-da. Noelle meets up with Chris at Desire, the kinky club, the BDSM club. And he is wearing the same red suit that looked like Santa Claus that he was wearing in his picture. And she is wearing this very tight dress with a bow right under her boobs that she looks like a big old present. And she just enjoys being a brat to him right off the bat. They go back and forth.
I feel like this is where Angie really connected with that character a lot.
Angie was here for this whole ride.
honestly, just because like here's the thing, right? Okay, so like the whole no, I just continue because it's just gonna be a whole thing. Just go, just keep going.
This episode is brought to you by Angie's Daddy Kink.
So he plays with her a bit because that is what this app was for. They met up to wham bam thank you ma'am. There was no surprise in this. So it was not a secret that this was going to escalate quickly. And so it was not surprising that they met up. She was a little bratty and then all of a sudden his fingers were in her. So you're welcome. But then he stops because he says only good girls get to come.
Here's the problem I had, okay?
Wah.
I have a praise kink. Love it, on it. But that paired with the daddy thing, like I was very confused the entire book. My brain is like, you like this, and then my brain's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Well, because you don't have to like all of it, because there was a brat kink, it was a praise kink and a daddy kink, and if you don't have all of those,
Slight
it wouldn't be
degradation.
your niche. And a little, yes, which I'm going to outright say I did not feel like the degradation fit the vibe, because she made a point to mention that she had not gotten a chance to wear that dress because the last time she wore the dress, she was completely like humiliated for it because she was degraded by her ex for wearing it and she was made to take it off. And I understand that was malicious intent and that's why that didn't swallow very well. But then
Not like she did. I'm sorry. You left it there in the air, Ariel.
But then Santa over here did the same thing with the dress almost right after she said that. And I feel like, yes, I understand that concept and his intent. And it was almost like a making it work kind of thing and the difference. However, I just kind of felt like it was kind of icky because we went straight from one to the other with the same thing.
And you can only do so much in 60 pages.
But so back when, like in like page 8, when they were saying like all our interests are lining perfectly, it's all check marks, there is a like humiliation kink on there. So
and he wouldn't know about the dress before, right? I'm just saying from like the author standpoint, I feel like something else could have picked, or we could have gone without the story of her dress to begin with.
At the beginning, the wearing a dress felt empowering because she was wearing it because she wanted to, and like, fuck that ex. Like, I understand where you're coming from.
She is sad that she is left wanting, and she's really whiny.
Orgasm denial.
This is what we call.
It's not fun, by the way. That is not a fun thing. I hate it so much.
Yes.
So I hate it, but I understand it, and I understand why sometimes it's necessary, because the buildup and the driving you crazy for hours just makes that first
I'm just super impatient,
so
and then I turn into a brat when that happens.
Yes, so did our main character.
I know. She was a brat to begin with.
You know, and he tells her that he loves her dress, that he's going to unwrap her. But first, they're going to get a drink. He's going to show her off around the club. They're going to walk around. And when he's good and ready, he'll take her up to upstairs to give her what she needs, but only when he's ready. So she kind of gets a little whiny about this, and he tells her that you need to behave or you're going to earn some punishments. And of course, she doesn't heed that advice, and she gets very impatient walking around the club. And he tells her, nope, you just earned one. And she's aghast at that. She's, oh, what the fuck kind of thing? And oh, swearing, that's another one. You don't swear at me. And so now she's earned 2. So he brings her up to the voyeur floor and lets her get a good look at what else is going on in the club. And he says, sit on Santa's lap and tell me what you want. So she does.
This book is for those who have a Santa cake.
Gets the people going.
And he plays with her. She forgot to call him daddy, so she earns a 3rd punishment.
Yeah, honestly, you should know better. Like, I was raised, yes, ma'am, no, sir. Like, you should know better.
She should know better.
No. You should know
she
better.
Was saying
she
yes. She just
better.
Didn't say,
let's be honest.
Yes, daddy.
She knows better and is purposely forgetting it.
Yeah, she's a rat. She wants her punishments.
I forgot. She said, at one point, she honestly said, oops.
Oops. Oops, your pants just dropped. Then she whines, which, first of all, I do not speak whine. This is like really a pet peeve of mine. So like, you earned that fucking 4th punishment, young lady. Do not fucking whine.
We know which side of the kinks that Ariel lies on. Jesus Christ.
No, she's definitely a top. Like, definitely for sure. Like,
give top energy.
The control issues, the like behave or else, like 100%. Brad Tamer.
You don't whine. Yeah, no, Ariel's. Yep. Ariel, do you want my? Do you want the?
We can have a conversation. We can have a conversation about that. I feel like I'm one of those switch people that.
I mean,
with the right person, yeah.
And that's what I truly crave is the right dominating man that can handle that. But that's just
I'm the same way
because I spend all day long being the boss. But yeah.
Maybe you're just a super brat. You're the brat to tame all other brats. I'm too much of a bottom to ever see myself switching. Like, somebody would have to tell me to be a top, and even that telling me to be a top, that
I don't. Not a top. It's so funny because
from the bottom to the.
I don't like being on top. It's too much work. My legs hurt. I don't want to do it.
Honestly,
my thighs burn. I don't want to do it.
Don't you deliver packages all day long?
It's a different exercise, Ariel.
I'm with you. However, if the reward is good enough, I'll consider it.
Okay, so this is where my brat side shows. I will do it.
I'm with Angie.
I have done it plenty of times because I've been asked to, but I A, whine about it, and B, I'm like, I am going to get distracted, and I get distracted to the point that I can't keep going, and then they get frustrated enough and just take over, and that's what I want anyways.
So now she has earned 4 punishments, and she's on his lap, and I just need, and he says, what? And she says, you. And he says, okay, let's go. And then he tells her, well, you've earned 5 punishments. And she's, what? He says, well, 1 for good measure. And then so here comes number 1.
I love a round number. I love a good round number.
Except he never gives her number 5.
They get a little distracted. It's fine.
Yeah. So here comes punishment number 1. She gets 5 spankings. Our second punishment is she gets 10 swats from the flogger. And our third punishment is she gets a little orgasm denial, which we all know is not her best friend. And our fourth punishment is he decides to fuck her face. And he's enjoying that so much that he forgets apparently about the 5th punishment, even though we don't hear about it on page at all. And no one cares because they're so in the throes of everything that he just restrains her and then decides to see how many times he can make her come before the end of the night. And they just go at it like fuck rabbits. So they have the time of their life. And he fucks her until she's a limp freaking noodle. And then he brings her and they have a nice bath and they chill out and get clean. And they decide that they want to do this again. They agree to meet up again and see each other again. And that's our whole book. That was our whole book. Very short holiday novella, but that's okay. I'm going to say right off the bat that this was a BDSM holiday novella and no holiday items were used to restrain her or hit her or anything. And I'm very sad. Big fat sad. Missed opportunity. But I went into this wanting.
It's so funny too because I had just read a holiday novella where they utilized Christmas lights.
Right. Some garland, some Christmas lights. Tie her up with that. Use some mistletoe. Decoration.
Now I gotta add this to my list of when I write a Christmas novella. I gotta work on the Thanksgiving one first, guys.
Let's see, what else can we incorporate? What else should we have expected in this?
Well, he did unwrap her like a present, so I'm okay with that one. There was the Santa Claus thing, which is very common.
He didn't even use his beard on her.
She did not write that face on page. That was not a thing.
I wish she would have written the face. That would have been nice.
Right. She could have ridden him. She could have ridden him like a freaking sleigh, man.
Listen, I think that the missed opportunity there should have been more Christmas puns besides their names, because obviously Noelle and Chris got it. Yeah. Cool.
The red suit and the unwrapping of her.
It's not enough for me. I need more.
I was just in it for the ride.
Yeah. But again, this is a holiday novella, so we can't expect as much. And Angie was here for the daddy ride, so
I was here for everything from like page 1 to the end. I was just in it.
And I'm glad she got to sit on Santa's lap, so that was solid. I just feel like
that's nice.
Where it's a holiday novella, we could have utilized some holiday items since it was a BDSM book.
Could have had nipple clamps that have ornaments attached
like
to them.
Like the jingle bells, right? Or imagine what if he had a butt plug that had a light at the end of it that glowed like Rudolph's nose or something.
Hear me out. Jingle balls.
See, come on.
We have a lot.
Come on.
So many. This is what happens.
He could have utilized like Frosty's carrot.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be more of a snowed-in holiday novella.
Well, we are looking forward because all of January is a snowed-in adventure. So we are hoping that we are getting lots of snowed-in vibes.
Yeah,
our specials
we have our books all picked out.
January. January. Our specials for January are all snowed in.
I'm actually pretty sure about this.
Not even just our specials for January snowed in, the entire
all of
month
it. But
January.
This is a special, so I was just talking about specials. You know, I liked
everything is snowed in.
Everything. It's snowed in January,
and it's the first time we've ever picked books for the entire month, like
and strayed away from our wheel for
Well, there's a reason.
There is a reason. Team Ava.
We have our reasons. Yes. And do you want to explain what we're going to do?
For the month of January, we have 3 specials lined up the way that every other week lines up. And it just so happens that there is a trio of anthologies coming out actually right around now. They are all called Snowed In, and they're all snowed in short stories. The first one is dark romance. The second one is paranormal romance. And the third one is light and fluffy for our crystal vibes. And what we're going to do, and we are just loving having Angie here, and we're not going to let her go. And so you better get used to her awesome sauce face, because out of those anthologies, we're going to pick our favorite stories to talk about for our specials. We're going to each pick one, and we're going to do some reading sprints on TikTok. So after Christmas, before the new year, we are going to be reading the anthologies. And if you would like to join us, that would be amazeballs. And it's a great cause. The anthologies are charities. I think they're even Kindle Unlimited. So if you're Kindle Unlimited, great. If not, they're only 99 cents. So even better for an anthology. That's awesome. The last anthology I bought was like $12, and like for Kindle. So, but our regular episodes during January are also snowed in episodes. So each book has snowed in the title. I think we have a monster snowed in romance. I think we have a reverse harem, maybe. I think we have a MM one.
I believe
and we have a bunch of different ones. There's all kinds of different ones. We are here for the ride. We tried to have a variety, but they're all titled snowed in. So
it'll be fun. January will be a fun month. Deal. Start out the year with a bang.
So I know that this book only had 2 characters,
oh my
but
God, we haven't
what were
even
your
finished
favorite?
Our shit yet. Oh my God.
But what were your favorite characters?
So while Crystal's having a mentee bee, I'm gonna say my favorite character was Santa, and no, I'm not gonna elaborate on that.
Accepted. I'm going to go with the bartender that served them drinks.
I'll side with Angie on this one with Santa. I got you. Back you up with that.
Thank you.
Who was your least favorite character?
The main female character. I didn't like her. Wow.
I'm actually gonna agree with that, but that's just because a little bit of self-loathing. I just can't run away from it.
Crystal hates women, so I'm just kidding.
Let's not put that in.
She hates women in books. Sorry, let me
I do
that.
not hate all women in books. Just lately, we've been on such a stretch of
I know.
shitty female
Sorry,
characters.
she's hated women for like the last 6 months.
Excuse me, we've only been doing this for 8 months. I have not. I read a book. Well, okay, so I've read books in my own personal time where I love them.
Right in between there. She's hated fictional women.
Thank
fictional
you.
women. Yes, fictional. Yeah, that's what I meant. Fictional women. Yes.
Yes. Let's put
in
that.
Books.
Yeah.
You didn't at first. You didn't at first.
My brain is all booked right now.
Could be very bad for her if it's taken.
Oh, what fun it is to read the women that Crystal hates. Just kidding. I also agree with Noelle. And what did Amazon rate this?
So Amazon gives this a 4.4 and Goodreads is a 4.3.
So keep this in mind that this book literally came out, 3 days ago?
True facts.
Yes.
What did everybody give
bad boy right up.
I'm going to say 4.7 just because
you had a lot of kinks in this book that you
I mean, the whole thing, it would have been a 5 had it not been for the tiny little typos, and there was a little bit of a continuity thing with the whole.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so that
I could see where they were going with it. It just used a little.
Overall, like they had Lourose had a very, or Lourose, that's how that, it's Lourose.
Lourose, I think, yeah. Lourose.
Okay. She had a really good sense of like space and time, which is really hard, especially for shorter books, so novellas. I felt like I could see the setting, which was nice. Like I felt like I was in the club with them, like going through all the different levels, and like the descriptions were nice. And for the most part,
she took the time to describe things.
Yeah, it was. I think it was very well done. And but 4.7.
Crystal,
I gave it a 3.
Ariel,
I didn't know if she was gonna.
I don't.
She did.
It would have been higher if there was a little less daddy count. It struggled really.
So I spent way too long staring at Goodreads than I should have, because I myself could not decide on how I wanted to rate this book. because I hemmed and hawed over a 3 or a 3.5 myself. Because while I felt that the story was a decent concept, I liked the way that she described things. I felt like the writing could have been better in the terms of like making sure that the full story was told on all ends. It is a novella, though. I had to take that into consideration. But also, this was not my vibe of book.
Yeah.
So
3.25
I'm going to say
for her.
3.25.
Okay.
Called it.
Sorry. I hate to put a 2.5 somewhere, but you know,
I mean,
it's
you've
hard
put
enough
a
to put 0.5s.
You've
I
put a
know. I just
2.5.
hate that.
Yeah. How
But
about Cucumber? Adri was very into this book.
Solid 9.
Ariel's dying.
I'm going to go with a 4. It was very short. We only had so much. It wasn't tragic. I liked the lap part. I just felt there was a lot of missed opportunities for a holiday novella that it could have been.
I feel like for what it was and what was on page, that's what I based mine on. Not what was missing, but what was there.
I take mine and compare it like how spicy is this book comparatively? You know what I mean? So if I have this bookshelf, this one maybe is a 4, this one's a 6, this one, you know what I mean? That way you know how spicy it is.
Oh yeah, no. This is completely so. Like did it scratch enough itches in my brain?
That's okay.
Yes,
Crystal does that a lot too.
I'm gonna go with like maybe a 5.5 ish.
I'm surprised with your daddy.
Half a cucumber.
I don't.
Interesting.
I know.
It's half an inch.
Yes, this is measured in inches.
Oh, 9. I stand by what I said.
Yeah. If the daddy thing was a little bit lower, I probably would have rated it higher. It was just a lot. That word was in there a lot.
Yes, it was.
So many times.
Yes, it was. It was one of those things where I had my phone reading it out to me, and I have downstairs neighbors now, and I had to keep making sure that the volume wasn't too loud because it was also like 7 in the morning and I was getting ready for work. And I'm like, I really hope that they're not hearing this through the vents. Because what a way to wake up, you know? You're upstairs.
You should have had
listening to Siri
a
reading
funnel going down.
That's so funny.
So yes, that was Unwrap Me, our last December special. So check out our Snowed in January and make sure to keep reading.
Keep it smutty
in the corner.